Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Emergency Management Associates. We're coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. This is breaking news that happened just over 2 hours ago. Yes, we delayed putting this out because we wanted to make sure we had all the right information, and now we're on the air to tell you about it. There has been a major earthquake in Myanmar. Myanmar is former Burma over in Southeast Asia. Major earthquake. A major 7.7 earthquake has struck Myanmar this morning. There is damage. There is going to be major damage where this earthquake struck, right here. This is where it struck. There's also been a 6.4 earthquake that happened within moments afterwards. Since then, there have been many more aftershocks. Now let me show you the earthquake map on the USGS map. I want to show you where this is. This is important. This is very important. Where this earthquake happened, okay, where this earthquake occurred, it's right next to a major city here. It is right next to a major city. There's going to be casualties here. There's going to be a lot of casualties here. I want everybody to realize this. This is nothing to scoff at. Okay? This is just probably 30 kilometers west of Mandolay. About 30 kilometers west of Mandalay. Let me zoom in here and I'll give you a bird's eye view of this area here. Right here. This is the sprawling city of Mandalay. There's 2 million people that live in this area. There's 2 million people that live in this area. Buildings have collapsed, homes have collapsed, streets have collapsed. It's a major area here. Now, there is also damage 160 miles south in Bangkok, Thailand as well. This earthquake was a major earthquake. Very major earthquake. Let me show you, let me pull this map out and show you where this earthquake occurred. This is on the earthquake fault here. This 7.7, the 6.4, the 4.3s, 4.6s that have already hit. These are aftershocks of that 7.7 earthquake that hit. That earthquake fault goes all the way down here into Bangkok, Thailand. Buildings have collapsed also in Bangkok, Thailand. That fault line stretches all the way down here into Indonesia. Comes out of Indonesia and comes up here. It goes into northeastern India and over into the Himalaya Mountains. Okay? This is a major earthquake, guys. This is a very major earthquake. There's going to be casualties here. There are going to be casualties here. USGS estimates anywhere from 1,000 to 10,000 people fatalities. 1,000 to 10,000 fatalities from this earthquake. Again, these people do not have building standards like we have in the West. There's going to be collapses. There already have been. People have already lined up outside buildings here. Now, I want to show you something else here that's very bad. Okay? There's been a building collapse. A skyscraper under construction near Mandalay collapsed. 43 workers have been trapped in this collapsed building. 43 workers have been trapped in this collapsed building. Buildings falling over like this. More buildings falling like this. There's going to be casualties here. Sun Gator says, I'm so tired today. It's very early this morning. It's very early this morning. You're going to be tired. George Assad said, can we zoom way out? Oh yeah, we can do that. We'll do that in a minute. Arnold Smith says an 8.7 aftershock. That's very possible. That's very possible. That would mean the 7.7 earthquake is a foreshock. All these earthquakes would be a foreshock if that 8.7 is true. And yes, we will get more information and put it out for you as the day goes on. But there's been at least a 7.7 major earthquake in Myanmar, near Mandolay. Mandalay is a city of over 2 million people. There are smaller towns and cities all over this region. Vietnam, Thailand, Cambodia. Folks, there's going to be casualties here, all up and down through this peninsula area. All the way up and down through this peninsula area, guys. This is serious. This is very serious. Let me zoom out and give you a full picture of what we're talking about here. Okay? You can see Indonesia right here. This whole area here is Indonesia, and also the Philippines right here. Going up here. This whole area here is the Philippines. And yes, we have earthquakes there. Okay? But this whole area down here to the south is Indonesia. Yes, we have earthquakes here, and USGS is still not showing all the earthquakes here in Indonesia. There's 18 earthquakes here in Indonesia today. There was last night as well. USGS is also not showing a moderate 4.7 earthquake in northern Australia. I showed that on an earlier broadcast. Okay? But we had no idea, we had no inkling that this was going to occur in Myanmar. There's no shock waves before it happened. Shock waves meaning large earthquakes over here in Indonesia. Those did not happen. I know for a fact that we have earthquakes here in Indonesia, and that seismic energy runs north and west. That seismic energy apparently built up here in Myanmar. We're this morning. It's the afternoon there in Myanmar today. But the seismic energy built up and released here in Myanmar. There's going to be casualties here. A lot of casualties. As I showed you a few minutes ago, a skyscraper under construction collapsed, and there's at least 43 workers that have been trapped. Okay? Yes, Aubrey, this is a big one. And there may be an 8.7 aftershock, which would mean this 7.7 would be a foreshock. The 7.7 would be a foreshock to that quake. Do we have any questions? Does anybody have any questions for me? What is the antipode? Let me show you the antipode. I think you're going to be surprised. I think you will be very surprised about the antipode to this quake. This is unreal. When I saw the antipode today, I was surprised. In fact, more than just surprised. Let me take the USGS map down here and show you the antipode to this quake. The antipode to this quake is off the coast of Peru. The antipode of this quake is off the coast of Peru. Arnold Smith says a well-known bridge has also collapsed from this extremely large earthquake. That does not surprise me at all. There's going to be major damage in this area. There will be major damage already that we've seen, but there's going to be more. If you want more pictures right now, you can go over Reuters. They have more information. But this is the information that I've compiled. I did not come on the air right after this earthquake hit. There's no point in that. There's absolutely no point in coming on the air right after it happened. All we would have known is there was a major quake. I waited a while. I did my research, and then I came on the air after the fact. That way we can show you information. People want information. People have died here. We know for a fact that people have died here. Aubrey's asking, how will this affect the 7 plates in the area? Let me back out here into the USGS map again. Take down my face, take down the banner here. There are 7 different major plates here. 7 different tectonic plates in this region. 7 different tectonic plates in this region that are over as far east as Samoa and Tonga, Australia, down into New Zealand as well. All the way over here in the Tonga and Samoa. Going all the way west here through the Legacy Islands, Fiji, Vanuatu, the Solomon Islands, Australia, Papua New Guinea, all of Indonesia here. Also up here into the Philippines. These plates stretch all the way up here to Taiwan and Japan. Now, what does this mean? All this means right here, as that the seismic energy coming out of Indonesia was locked up here in the Myanmar area. There may be more earthquakes in this area. There may be more earthquakes in Myanmar. There could be more earthquakes in Bangkok, Thailand, over in Laos, Cambodia, or even in Vietnam. This was a major quake. This was a very major quake. I fully expect there to be more damage. I fully expect more earthquakes as well. Sun Gazer said they saw the coronal hole on the sun. It was massive. Yes, it was a huge, massive coronal hole on the sun, a huge sunspot, Earth-facing. Now that Earth-facing sunspot could have launched flares out from the sun that may be responsible for this earthquake that happens. Plasma radiation radiating out from the sun envelopes the Earth. That solar radiation, that plasma radiation, enters the Earth's magnetosphere, which has been weakened by the previous solar minimum. As a result, that solar energy, that plasma radiation has gotten to the surface of the Earth, down into the core. Now let me back out of this USGS map here and bring up our webcam so I can show you what we know here. Okay? When that happens, the solar radiation envelopes the Earth like this, especially the Earth facing. Okay? And hits the Earth like this. The plasma radiation penetrates the atmosphere, heating up the atmosphere. When it hits the surface of the earth, it heats up the earthquake faults as well. It also heats up the tectonic plates. All the gunk and grime, all the biological material, all the rock, the sand and other material there that holds the plates and also holds the earthquake faults in place. All that gunk and grime turns into an oily, greasy substance that allows the plates to more freely move, just like this. That's what happens. That's what happens. That's why this earthquake occurred today over in Myanmar. That's why it occurred. And like I said, there's going to be more earthquakes in this region. There's going to be more earthquakes in this region, I guarantee it. With this size of earthquake, there's going to be massive aftershocks. USGS probably will not show all the aftershocks here. They never do. But this area, folks, has a lot of people living in this area. Again, over 2 million people. Over 2 million people live right here. Mandolay. Two million people live in this area. We've already seen damage here to homes and businesses. Building collapses all over the place. USGS averages at least 1,000 people dead and up to 10,000. Upwards of 10,000. The reason? This is a highly populated, dense urban area. That's why it's going to happen. Now, we won't know this for a fact for probably several days from now. But as we get more and more information, we will pass it on to you as that information becomes available. That's what we've always done. Sungazer asked if I've seen the bears in Yosemite. I've seen the bears in Yellowstone. Incredible. It was not in Yosemite, it was in Yellowstone, blocking the roads, entrances to the park. Okay? But this whole area is going to be affected. It's very close to this earthquake. Very, very close to this earthquake. Right there. Do we have any questions? Jamie Wilk is asking, is Ron, is there any danger in Washington from these quakes? No. This quake has no effect on Washington or anything in the United States right now. Now this seismic energy we've seen here in Myanmar today. That seismic energy will probably move up here to northeastern India. It will also move up into the Himalaya Mountains here, the border India and Nepal and China. This energy could travel all the way over here to Tajikistan, Kazakhstan, and Afghanistan. Right there. This is the edge of the plate here. This is the edge of the plate. I showed you last night right here. This is a 5.2 large earthquake here in Kazakhstan. This energy will travel through here either directly east or directly west over here to the Caspian Sea. The seismic energy also could go south over here, over on the western side of India, down here into southern Iran, down here. You can see the fault line down here. That fault line also travels up here through Iraq, into Syria, and over here into Turkey. Again, I showed you earlier this evening the evidence of earthquakes here in the Turkey-Syria border region. These earthquakes in the Turkey-Syria border region that I showed you last night are aftershocks of a 9.0, 10.0 earthquake that occurred here February 3rd, 2023. Major earthquake. Major earthquake. 5,000 people killed, over 5,000 people injured as well. And we're still having aftershocks even today. They're not showing any of the earthquakes in Turkey at all. They're only showing one earthquake over here in the Aegean Sea. This is a 4.5 earthquake over here in the Aegean Sea. This is near a volcano. This is near several volcanoes, in fact. Amorgos Island is this island up here to the north. Further south here, right here, is Santorini. Volcanoes all over this area. There is magma down beneath the surface that is moving. The magma is forcing its way through bedrock. And at some point in time, that magma will make an appearance at the surface. If that magma makes a surface appearance, there will be either explosive eruption or a catastrophic volcanic eruption here in the Aegean Sea. It could happen on one of the islands here. Each of these islands is magma made. The magma popped to the surface in lava. Lava is deposited all over these islands. We could have a catastrophic eruption on these islands. They're heavily populated. All these islands are tourist traps. But if it happens out here in the ocean, that hot lava is going to hit the ocean waters, the relatively cool ocean waters, and it's going to explode. Okay? They're not showing the 20 earthquakes over here in Greece. Go figure. They never do. They haven't showed enough earthquakes over here in Greece for years. They're not showing all the earthquakes over here in Italy. Folks, we have a volcano brewing over here in southwestern Italy right here. And like Myanmar, it's a heavily populated urban area. When that volcano goes, there's going to be catastrophic eruption here. There will be fatalities here as well. They have evacuated some areas of this part of Italy, and it's still moving. It's still moving here. But again, USGS is not showing any of this stuff. They're not showing anything. Arnold Smith says we now have to wait about 12 hours to see if this event will either propagate in larger post, earthquake event, or settle down. There will be a major earthquake happening. It's already happened. The major earthquake has already happened, but there's going to be a huge increase in aftershocks here. They're only showing basically two aftershocks, the 6.4 to the south here and the 4.6 here. There's two 4.6s here, and there's at least half dozen smaller earthquakes. USGS is not showing it at all. Do we have any other earthquakes here? I'm not in earthquakes. Do we have any more questions about this earthquake this morning? Thank you, Ernie. I appreciate that. You're very welcome. As I've said before, we always come on the air when something major happens, and this is a major event. There's been huge skyscraper collapse here. Major skyscraper collapse. 43 people are trapped. 43 people are trapped. Right there. Buildings are falling over all over this place. Like this. And like this. And like this. We're going to see a lot more of this. And as the day goes on, I will put together more information and I'll bring it to you tonight. Tonight's program will be basically emergency preparedness. But again, this is a major event and we will be talking about earthquakes tonight. Do we have any more questions for me? I appreciate all of you that are being here with me tonight, this morning. We will be coming back later today if there's another event to happen. We'll be back on the air to tell you about it. And if nothing happens between now and then, we will be back on the air sometime after 6 p.m. Eastern Time tonight to give you more information about this earthquake and other things that are happening. And we're talking about emergency preparedness tonight. That's our main topic. Fridays are Emergency Preparedness Fridays. Everyone, I love you all. That's why we're here. Please help us support this program by going over just below this program today in our program description. You're going to see 2 PayPal locations and a Venmo location. You can help support this program there. Also, you're going to see our address here. It's coming across the bottom of your screen right now. 504 Bethel Road, Box 401, Morganton, North Carolina. The zip code here is 28655. Send us a letter, send us a card, and inside the letter or card, you can stick a donation. We greatly appreciate it to help us keep this program on the air. God bless you all. We'll see you tonight. Have a good day, guys, and be safe. Please be safe. God be with you until we meet again. We'll see you on the other side. Have a good one, guys. God bless.